We've heard allegations about Marcellus Wiley before, and now there are new accusations coming from his own wife. From the outside, she looked like someone who stood by him during some difficult moments. Of course, Marcellus sees the situation very differently. Every relationship has problems behind closed doors, and nobody really knows everything that goes on inside a marriage. But the reality is that stories and accusations involving Marcellus Wiley have been following him since his days at Columbia. Now, to be clear, he's innocent until proven guilty. That's the way this has to be discussed. At the same time, when your name keeps surfacing in situations like this, people are going to look at you differently. That's just the reality of it. And remember, Marcellus Wiley previously talked about Emmanuel Acho supporting him at Fox because he wanted his own show. Then all the issues involving Joy Taylor and some of the claims surrounding Acho came out, and Wiley started revisiting those situations. He talked about them constantly and even considered taking legal action. Now Emmanuel Acho is weighing in on what Wiley had to say about his divorce. Earlier, Acho said he couldn't speak on the allegations because they're legal matters, but he did address the divorce itself. Meanwhile, Marcellus posted a statement on his X account titled "Divorce Response." He said, "I love my children with everything I am." He also said that protecting his children and preserving their relationship with both parents has always been his highest priority. Wiley said the public allegations made by Amarie forced him to respond with evidence instead of emotion. He added that he owes it to his children to truthfully document what both he and they have endured. According to Wiley, he now has to answer what he called lies by telling the truth about Amarie and their marriage. He claimed to have gathered videos, photographs, text messages, emails, and other evidence that he says contradicts the accusations and documents the events that led to the divorce. Wiley also alleged that Amarie repeatedly cheated on him, including having an affair with her pregnant friend's husband. He further accused her of serious parenting failures and claimed she placed a voodoo curse on his family. He also mentioned fans from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills who she allegedly said hated her, along with what he described as many other documented incidents. Wiley then said that many friends, family members, and fans believed she lost her mind after being removed from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. He said that, unfortunately, he agrees with that opinion. He added that he never wanted his family's struggles to become public, even for divorce leverage, but believed this day was inevitable. Wiley also said he was willing to endure anything, even hell itself, if it meant being with his children every day. He called himself their hero and said he's fighting to make sure the image his children know of him is the one that remains. He ended by saying he is prepared to address these allegations through the legal process and with evidence. According to Wiley, his focus remains on his children, his integrity, and the truth. And that's the response Marcellus Wiley put out publicly. As for the infidelity claims, Emmanuel Acho says he has information from Nigeria involving a time when Marcellus's wife was allegedly seen with another man. Let's hear what he has to say.
I both know Amarie and I know her replacement. Acho, how the hell you know her replacement? Because she only lasted one season. Okay, so Amarie, she was adopted. She's currently on like a hunt to find her biological parents. Well, how do I know that? Because she took that hunt to Nigeria. Now, there was a video of Amarie that has since been deleted looking very familiar with this wealthy man in like this Nigerian club. It got sent to me privately because obviously I'm Nigerian. So my Nigerian friends were like, "Hey, ain't this Marcellus's wife?" I saw that video like a month and a half. I started doing my Googles. I was like, that's interesting. She looks far too familiar with the man that's not her husband, leaned over, smiling, key. That's separate from the allegation incident. I just found that interesting. But remember, I saw them later to track meet, so I'm thinking, oh, it's all smiley in paradise. It wasn't all smiles in paradise. Amarie was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She lasts a season. After the season, she gets kicked off. Again, who's Amarie? Amarie is a nurse anesthetist, not an anesthesiologist. The difference is a CRNA doesn't necessarily have to go to med school, so there's less schooling. Anesthesiologists can administer anesthesia by themselves, and a nurse anesthetist has to, in certain states, have an anesthesiologist kind of supervising them. That's the difference. Amarie appears to have, as of late, come into some fame of her own, or wanted to come into fame of her own. Okay, here's what's interesting though. In Amarie's goodbye message, after finding out she wasn't going to be included in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she says, and I quote, this is a caption from an Instagram post, "What I am is a woman, A proud Black woman who is truly blessed with a wonderful, strong Black man as my husband, who lifts me and our 4 wonderful children up with so much love and positivity on the daily, she wrote. Who is truly blessed with a wonderful, strong Black man as my husband, who lifts me up and our 4 wonderful children with so much positivity on the daily. It's interesting to me because Anne-Marie is coming to some fame of her own. Marcellus has had fame of his own. I worked with Marcellus 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 years, 240 shows a year. Marcellus, if y'all know, because I've had to argue with the man, can be very antagonizing, if you will. Difficult to argue with. Anne-Marie, she, in my experience, is equally volatile.
That was definitely an interesting detail from Emmanuel Acho. He's saying he received a behind-the-scenes video involving some of what's been happening, and now some of that information is starting to come out publicly. When you think about it, Marcellus Wiley always presented himself as somebody above all the drama. He put out the image of a happy family, and honestly, that's what most people do publicly. A lot of people don't talk about what's happening at home if they're trying to make things work. But when situations like this fall apart, the person closest to you can do more damage to your reputation than anyone outside your circle ever could. Allegations coming from inside your own home tend to stick with people. Even if you're eventually cleared, those accusations can still leave a lasting mark, especially when they're coming from someone who has been by your side through different stages of your life. I know some people ask why someone would stay if these things were happening, but we've all seen people stay in bad situations before. So I can't sit here and say whether she's making things up now because she's angry or whether she stayed through things that were actually happening. We've all known people who tell you everything that's wrong in their relationship and then end up right back with that person. At that point, all you can really say is, if you like it, I love it. What's clear is that Marcellus is making allegations of infidelity, and she's making allegations against him as well. One thing seems certain though, this relationship has reached the end, and once things become this public, it's usually very difficult to come back from it. When Anna-Marie joined the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it also brought up another conversation. People who want more visibility or a larger platform have to be careful. She was only on the show for 1 season, but sometimes people want to grow beyond the life they're used to. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do more professionally. At the same time, if these allegations against Marcellus aren't true, then both people still have to make sure they're taking care of home. And if Marcellus is guilty of any of the things being alleged, then that's obviously terrible. There's serious accusations being discussed, including claims involving a middle school girl who allegedly said she was 13, and accusations of force. Those claims don't match the image he has publicly presented. I've also been curious to hear what Ryan Clark thinks about all of this, but he's stayed pretty quiet about the situation. Honestly, that's commendable, because considering how Marcellus has gone after Ryan Clark before, a lot of people would probably choose to be petty. I also hope that if Marcellus is right and these allegations are baseless, then whatever videos and evidence he says he has can help him. But at the end of the day, someone can gather evidence that supports their side and still be guilty of other things. You can build your defense because you see where things are heading. That doesn't automatically mean things happened exactly the way you're presenting them. Some things may never be documented or become part of the public record. In the end, a court can only deal with what can actually be proven. That's why I look at this situation and think that just because one side has evidence doesn't necessarily mean one person is completely right and the other person is completely wrong. I understand wanting to protect your children. From the reports, it sounds like the kids saw arguments between you two, but they never said they saw you physically put your hands on their mother. The allegations were that you pointed in her face and things like that. And after seeing the Big Tigger video, situations like these get even more complicated. Now with Big Tigger, the woman involved had a history of this kind of behavior and had previous issues with the law. The video itself wasn't really incriminating. It looked more like he wanted his phone back and maybe there were questions about another woman or possible cheating. But in that video, she was throwing herself on the floor, and there are situations where people end up claiming someone else caused their injuries. That's the part I don't like, because not every situation is the same. You have cases like Ray Rice, where someone is clearly knocking a woman out. You have Dana White slapping his wife in public, and then you have what happened with Big Tigger. Those situations aren't all comparable. Could he have just walked away? Probably. Whatever was on that phone was gonna come out eventually anyway. But if somebody is acting like that, maybe the relationship shouldn't continue in the first place. As for Marcellus, after putting out that long statement, you better make sure you're telling the truth. And if Amari's allegations are true, then hopefully she'll get justice. Either way, the truth is probably going to come out through these legal proceedings over the coming months, or maybe even the next year. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.